Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you for being able to attend this on such short notice because I was on vacation before and completely forgot we had a meeting today. So welcome to the first EAC meeting of 2022, whatever year it is. All right. We're going to call this meeting to, I don't even know. We're going to call this meeting to order. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion.
All right. First thing on the agenda, elect a new chair. Anyone want to help a girl out here? Don't all raise your hands.
Yeah, well,
Come on.
Linda, you're doing
We
a
see you, Kevin.
job.
We see you there, Kevin.
Yeah, what you
How
should
about
do,
co-chairs? You guys used to have co-chairs so that.
He's my co-chair. I don't really.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, even though I'm an alternate, I would be a co-chair if that'll help you stay on, Linda.
Just on certain, depending on certain schedules.
Yeah, I could do all the agendas if you don't like that part of it.
Yeah, because you end up doing most of the work anyway for the agendas.
So yeah,
So
I
that'll
don't mind doing that if that helps.
All right, do we have to vote on this, I'm assuming?
Linda, you're fading in and out all the time.
We have to vote on this? I wasn't here the last time. You guys voted me into chair.
Yeah, I think
Don't all laugh at once.
So I'd like to propose a motion that Alan and Linda be our co-chairs for the EAC in the 2022 year.
and I will second that.
Okay, all right.
We need an all in favor?
All in
All
favor?
in-
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? No, no one's opposed?
Motion carried.
Motion carried. Here we go. All right. All right, number 2, did everyone, I guess we don't necessarily, I put review approval because it was last minute on when the minutes went out. Does anyone have any comments, concerns, changes to the minutes from December?
Nope.
Nope, my comments got in the draft, so I'm happy.
Everyone's good. All right, let's vote on approval of the December 16th, 2021 minutes.
Yeah, I will make a motion to approve the December 16th, 2021 minutes as written.
Second,
I'll
I'll
second it.
second it.
Alan wins that one. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Yay. All right, tree ordinance. Suzanne, did this get
We
published?
got the 2021 end of year.
Oh my God, oh, sorry, I did forget one. Do we want to vote on the end of year for 2021?
I have a suggestion. I think we're still close to the end of the year. I think, well, we ought to put that off until probably February, where, we can look back with maybe a little greater perspective. Generally, we don't put these in until February or March. So does that make sense?
I'm fine with that. If everyone can just take a once over before the next meeting.
Sure.
Sure.
And then we can talk about
One last set of eyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
does everyone get the, speaking of meetings, does everyone get the emails from Katie about the meetings?
I do.
Who?
I do.
Katie? I do.
Katie, oh, okay. All right. Cause she sent out January and February
All
the
right.
other day. And I forget when February's is, but it's scheduled.
February 3rd.
I think that's when it was.
It's a
January
Thursday at
3rd.
6 p.m., I believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you
because
need
I'm
to
away
call
the
the
following
number.
weekend.
So if you accidentally lose the call-in number for February, you can just use the call-in number from January. It's the same.
Oh,
All right, I just wanted to make sure everybody was getting her emails. All right, so we will discuss end of year review at the next meeting. All right, tree ordinance. Suzanne, when will we find out when that gets published?
I believe it has been published. I think what you're asking is what the next steps are. So it's a 30-day posting issue. So the first agenda that it can be on is the first Wednesday in February. So if it's on that agenda and if it moves forward, then it goes to planning, our planning commission, Bucks planning, et cetera, et cetera.
I want to just apologize for my newness and my lack of clarity around process, but when we say that it has been published, where can people find this text?
Literally in the Bucks County Courier. So
Okay.
all entities are still required to make certain publications in the printed press, and that is the printed press that we use.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Know
You're welcome.
what day it was published?
I don't, but I can find
Oh.
out.
Okay. Yeah,
Is there
I
any
mean,
way we could get
are
it?
you concerned? I mean,
no, I just want to read it.
yeah, okay. I could even see if I could just get Jim to forward you what was published.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
That's
could
whatever
you
works.
forward it to the whole committee?
Of course. No, everyone but Alan.
Okay, as long as it's not me. All right.
Yes, I will ask him to send it.
When do you think we could have that, Suzanne?
I can ask for it, and then as soon as Jim sends it. I mean, it's what was discussed, right?
Right.
So no changes were made since it was publicly discussed, and but I will ask Jim to send it.
All right, thank you.
Of course.
And then I need to get in touch with Jim Majewski about any changes or wording to the invasive species ordinance, which I will do hopefully before the end of this week, if I'm lucky. If not, next week.
So, James is the new chair of the board. So once you have that, once you and you guys have aligned, then we can ask James to put it on an agenda, and that's how we would move it forward to make it, an ordinance for the township.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get in touch with Jim. I'm writing myself a note now to get in touch with him tomorrow to find out when we can meet. Okay. Tree plantings for 2022. Alan and Jim Bray had gone out to look at some sites in December, and there was an email that was sent out. At this point, I think Alan, myself, and Jim are going to try and discuss what we think are the best ones to present based on everything that's rotating around them. For instance, we're not sure Keola tree planting is an option because the trail hasn't been started yet. And other ones like that. And then once we figure out what our top list is, we'll present it hopefully at the next meeting, I'm assuming, right, guys?
Yes, what time do you want to have that call on Wednesday, a week from today?
I can do.
And anybody else is welcome to join us.
Well, be careful, right? If you
Except
have
you.
too many, if you have too many of you, then it's got to be public because you are a sanctioned board.
What's the limit?
Oh,
Really?
you guys can handle that.
You can do like you tell two friends and you tell two friends and so on, but never can you adjudicate things more than two of you.
Would we be adjudicating if we just discuss the issue?
Yeah.
Even though we wouldn't be making a decision.
As you know, I'm
Up to
not
the group.
licensed to practice law in the state of Pennsylvania. But nonetheless, my understanding is that any type of discussion, the word's escaping me, but deliberation would have to be done in public, lest it be considered a violation of the Sunshine Act. So two of you can talk, and then you could talk to two others, and that way, but otherwise, here we go.
Put it out there. If you want me involved, I can do anytime after 1:30 on Wednesday. If it's something you can do in the morning, then you and Jim can talk about it, and
Okay,
you can
so
email
you're,
me and we can talk about it.
all right, so you're available at 1:30. Okay.
Well, what about later in the day though, Linda? Is that good for you? I
Well,
thought,
no, but there can only be two of us, so that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it's either gonna be me and Alan speaking, or me and you speaking, or you and Alan speaking.
Well, yeah, Jim, why don't I talk to Linda first and then I'll call you later in the day? And then you can call Linda later after that if you want.
all right.
All right.
So 1:30 for Linda. And what was your time, Jim?
I don't really care. Later in the day is generally better for me because we're moving a lot during the early parts of the day doing stuff. But so 4 o'clock is generally good for me. But
Okay,
if that doesn't work, I can certainly make it earlier. We're pretty flexible.
no, four is fine. And then if.
So that's
you and
what,
Lin-
2 your time?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
you and Linda can then talk afterwards if necessary.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you, Suzanne, for that warning.
Well, no, she should have told us next meeting. So we can just ask for forgiveness.
So let me get this straight about a quorum. We technically have 7 people on the EAC, but right now I think we're 1 short. We have 6. So does that mean 3, or do you have to have 4?
A quorum is one more than the available seats. So let's pretend that you had 7 seats, but only 2 were filled. You would still need 4. It doesn't matter how many seats are filled. The quorum is based on how many seats exist. So you have 7, quorum is 4.
Okay,
One
so
more than one
we're
more
only
than-
3, so we're only 3, so we can do that then.
No, I don't know why sorry, we're mixing apples and oranges. Quorum is quorum. Sunshine rules are sunshine rules.
Oh.
And sunshine rule says no more than 2.
No more than 2 people, regardless of the size of your committee.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Okay, on that, land use, Alan.
Nothing much new except for the deck lot. That's the one at East Schoolhouse Lane and Woodland Drive. It needed a number of variances in order to build a house on the property. And despite overwhelming opposition by the neighbors, the zoning board voted to approve the variances. So we'll probably see a preliminary plan for construction there. I don't know when, but maybe in the next few months. So it's moving ahead. The other 2, the Bucks County Smiles office building and the Point at Edgewood Village, nothing has happened with them in the last month. And nothing else new. So that is it for land use.
Thank you. All right, so that brings us to recycling. The styrofoam event is this January, or this January, this Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh my God, this Saturday at 10 o'clock at the township. Just so you guys all know, because I have to drive to King of Prussia for lacrosse, not for me, I will be dropping off my recycles in advance. So they'll probably be there at like 9:30-ish. So you'll see 2 big bags, if not more, and a bunch of other stuff.
I'm bringing a very excited 17-year-old who is longing to volunteer. So we will
Great.
get
She'll
there.
love it in 19 degrees.
We will get there early so that we can
Oh.
secure your styrofoam, lest it goes
Good.
blowing in the wind.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a high of 33 and sunny.
I have 33. You make it sound so
Come on.
balmy.
Because I'm stuck out here. I was planning to fly back this week, but thanks to COVID, that's not going to happen for another few weeks. So who's going to be there? I know Jim and
I will
Jean.
be there pending a negative COVID test because I was exposed to it last Saturday. I have no symptoms now, but I'm getting tested Friday.
All right, you'll be
Jean
all
and
right.
I will be
Negative,
there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, Gene and I will be there.
Okay, well, that's good, Suzanne, you're helping out.
We got Carly.
Yeah. Nothing like Carly. So, I don't know, Kevin or Jonah,
Yeah.
if you want to come, feel welcome.
I unfortunately don't believe I can come, but
Okay.
I'm very grateful that this is happening.
Yeah.
Understood.
Kevin, question in terms of batteries. Do you take the little batteries that are in like calculators? Or is it just just like the AA, AAA? all that?
I'll take everything and I'll see what the store accepts, and then I'll figure out what to do later. It's the first
Okay.
time. I
Okay.
don't want to turn things away. I'd rather try and recycle.
All right. I only
I
have
have
like
had
2 or
this
3.
lovely calculator and the battery still works since 1982. Lovely, isn't it?
Very colorful.
Yes.
Jewel.
Okay. Recycling garbage containers. So did Monica purchased, right? Okay.
Yes, she did purchase one. We don't know what type. I thought it was in her email, she said a Benz type, but Jean pointed out that that's probably just a transcription error by her computer, that she said Benz and came across as Benz. So she did buy something. We'll find out on the 10th.
Okay.
Oh, I thought she got like the
No.
Mercedes Benz
Jonah,
of
Jean, and I-
recycling.
Yeah, that's how I got all excited. So Jean and Jonah, we're probably gonna have to do this by Zoom.
That's fine.
Is that
Uh,
okay?
yes, my youngest is still not eligible for vaccination, so I am
Okay.
hesitant to leave the
Cool
house
with
very
that.
much.
Okay, so we need to get a hold of Monica and let her know to set something up. So,
Jonah, do you want to do that?
I can do that.
Thank you.
okay, yeah,
Absolutely.
tell her and we'll,
Hypothetically, Monica's listening to you right now.
oh, really?
Hey,
Hello,
Monica.
Hi, Monica. Send a
Happy New
picture
Year.
of what you purchased so we know what we're buying.
Yeah,
So we know what to buy for future.
yeah. So, yeah, we'll continue our discussions with her on funding for the recycle bins and the report, the zero waste report. We'll report back in February.
Jonah, we're back at you. Plastic bag reduction. Any updates, news?
So I was very grateful. A few folks from the EIC did send me some feedback on the survey that we presented last time. And I hope that if you didn't send in any comments, it is an indication that you're comfortable with whatever the survey would say. And I am happy to review the survey altogether at this point, or for us to decide that the survey is good, and then we can discuss what the next steps are. If anyone would like to, I don't know if we need a procedural motion on this, but for anyone who would like to review the survey, I'm happy to share screen and just give us a quick review if we would like.
No, I think just like a quick. So is it pretty much what you went over last time?
It's
Did
very
much of it
similar.
change?
I'll do this. I'll do the old share screen. Just you're looking at the version that I can see as administrator of it, but we ask folks how important is the reduction of the amount of plastic that we use. We give a few facts about how much plastic bags that are single use get used and what percentage actually gets recycled. We ask folks how frequently do they purchase items and carry them home in a reusable bag. We ask about just a few different fees or fines. I think the language we use is fee here because there's a difference between a fee and a fine distinction. And then we also ask about the possibilities of rebates, not so much that we as a township can enforce a rebate, but it's good information for us to have in case we want to suggest to any stores in the area that they may be able to be good partners with us if they give rebates to their customers for encouraging reusable bags. And then there is a question of why do you, not always if you don't, and give folks the opportunity to write something else, and they can also provide any other feedback that they have. The other component that I'll stop the share here for a moment. The other component that I would like to do, and it's actually a little harder for me to envision happening this particular month with the way that Omicron is taking hold of our reality, but I would love to not only distribute this particular survey, but to find spaces perhaps outside of supermarkets where I can sit for half an hour or an hour and, in the name of the EAC, collect some very fast data on do you have 30 seconds to talk about single-use plastic bags, and ask the obvious questions of would you bring a reusable plastic bag if there were a rebate? Would you continue to use a single-use plastic bag if there were a fine? Just sort of ask a few quick questions that would last no more than 30 seconds, because folks don't usually have much more than 30 seconds when they're carrying their bags. But I am curious for feedback on that and whether we may be able to go with the go-ahead on that.
Should we put the survey online, maybe on the township's website? Because Park and Rec are doing a survey right now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good.
Monica's doing a survey right now.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's a really fun
Yeah.
survey.
So I can ask, I don't know, perfectly seems reasonable to me, but I don't know if I have to ask the other supervisors about that.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
happy to do
yeah.
that.
Go ahead and ask them.
Okay.
Yeah, because then.
Yeah, I think we should ask the other supervisors. But what Monica's doing is just really exceptional.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
But we may want to, I don't know, like, would it be too soon? Is Monica still going on? So I don't know if
believe
we want to
so.
give people another survey and have them, like, people look at things real quick and be like, well, I already did this survey, and
Survey
completely
fatigue.
ignore it.
The one question I would ask is I wish that I had a better answer to this. I don't know how frequently the survey has been republished, as in re-announced. Maybe someone might know how often Monica's survey has been re-announced.
So I don't know, but what I do know is there's an email list that people have an opportunity to get on. It's not like some secret email list. It's published, links to it are on the bottom of every agenda. So it's gone out that way. It's gone out through Facebook and Twitter. And I think she even has an Instagram account. She's pretty social media savvy. So it keeps going out that way. But I don't know. I mean, it's been since before the holiday, so it's been live for almost a month, I think.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can tell you that I'll bring it up at the next meeting and get the supervisor's guidance if it's okay going up on the webpage, if we can promote it that way. And
Sure.
then in February, we could decide, assuming they say yes, we could just, by then Monica should be closed and maybe it makes sense.
Great.
Yeah, sounds good.
At this time, I feel like really just getting to the stage of releasing the digital survey and or getting the go-ahead on being able to sit outside of, let's say, ShopRite or McCaffrey's or some other major hotspot within Lower Makefield, and for me and or other folks from the EAC to ask these questions and collect data. I think that's really where we are. Would anyone, is there anything that needs to happen before I presume anyone has the legal right to sit outside of ShopRite and ask questions to anyone.
Don't know about that. So again, not
No.
licensed in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
In New York,
I mean,
you would not have the legal right to do that. You
Yeah,
would have
at
to
a
get
minimum, I
permission.
would say go in and speak to, like, the
Speak to a
manager.
manager.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I could
I can just tell you from personal experience, it all depends on the manager.
right.
Some places, they want nothing. They
Right.
think anything that's controversial. I mean, it's one thing for the Salvation Army or someone having a Girl Scout cookie sale, but when you start getting signatures or data, they don't want any controversy or confrontation. So
Right.
ask
Okay.
for permission. Don't try to ask for it afterward or apologize. From gathering signatures to get on the ballot, my own experience.
Sure. Understood. In that event, do I need any kind of authorization on behalf of the EAC for me to reach out to these managers? No. Okay.
No,
I
I
will-
don't think so.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so you're going to do your in-person surveying, but we're going to wait till our February, what is it, 3rd meeting and get approval for the online surveying.
sure.
So there'll be 2 tracks, I guess. Yeah.
I think that would be great.
Yeah, so you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yours would be more like a focus group.
Can't we tell Jonah he can't go out till like it's above 40?
It's up to
Oh.
him.
And wear a mask. Wear a
I'll,
mask.
I heard there's a virus going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, the flu's
Um,
back too. The flu is,
that one too. Yeah. I've been
Now they're
vaccinated with
calling
many
it a
things. recently.
combination.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I am happy to retire this subject unless there's anything else that we feel we need to move on this with. That was not a good sentence, but you trust where I was going.
Yeah.
Thanks. Great. Happy to move on to the next item.
All right, well, Sunya's in India. Hopefully everything's okay with her mom. Paul, any updates on the newsletter?
I'm going to send out a thing either tonight or tomorrow, reminding people of the recycling event on Saturday. I just want clarification. Alan, you sent out another flyer. We're not going to collect the tops to the medicine bottles. Is that correct?
No, we are.
Oh, we are gonna collect the tops.
Because you want the tops, you don't want the labels.
Right.
So
Okay.
you don't have a flyer that says that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I was just confused on that thing.
Yeah. Keep the tops.
That's it.
Very important.
Yep. I'll either do it tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And I'll post some things on Facebook too.
All right, so that brings us to the Environmental Stewardship Award. Do we have a date for that?
I'm in the midst right now of, I gave the awards people, the awards and more, the appropriate wording, and they're going to come up with a prototype. And the way I work that every year is that as soon as I get that, I send it out to the group for them to take a quick look at. It's fairly generic, but anyway, historically, we've always given the award out generally at the first meeting in February, because after the reorganization meeting of the board in January, the second meeting in January is generally really, really packed. So what I would like to do now, and I guess I'll have to talk to James, unless you want to take care of that, Suzanne, to see if we can schedule that, the award for the first meeting in February.
did you send me something? I thought you were going to send something that just said officially that it's Mona or Heather.
Oh, I thought that I thought that was done. I know that it was sent out to the. Well, let me look, Suzanne. I thought I did send. I'm pretty sure I sent it out, but let me look again. You sure you didn't get it?
Yeah, I thought you sent it out to the whole board, to the Board of Supervisors.
Yeah, I think I did.
I believe you.
Okay. Yeah, well, my memory is not what it used to be, but I'm pretty sure I did that. But anyway, the people who do these awards do a nice job. It's a mom and pop outfit up in Washington Cross in Pennsylvania. And we've used those for that group for years. And they do a really nice job. This thing is generally quite impressive. It has, the script into the metal, and it has the lower Makefield Township seal. So anyway, as soon as I'll be probably talking to Nicole tomorrow or the next day, and as soon as I get the mock-up, I'll just send it out to everybody. Generally, it's pretty much a no-brainer because the wording is fairly generic. But I always welcome input. So, but how do we set it up for the first meeting in February? And can you take that, or do you want me to deal with James?
I'm happy to ask him if we can put it on the agenda.
Okay. Generally, it's early in the agenda. It only takes about 10 minutes. We need.
I know we talked about this because that's why I said I know this is my 5th rodeo. So
Okay.
it's a lovely little event.
Right. So anyway, we need a check from Kurt for made out to Bowman's Hill Wildflower Preserve. That was the organization that she selected. And I believe all that information was in the email that I sent. And I keep good files. So tomorrow I'll probably take a quick look at my files and, just make sure that that information was all sent out.
Hey, we're at the end, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a record.
We actually made it to the end of the agenda.
Wow.
Kevin, well, this is pretty much Kevin and Jonah, different sections of this. So I will leave it up to you two to provide whatever updates.
Sure. Kevin, do you want to talk about Ready for 100, or should we talk about the renewable energies ordinance?
Go through renewable energy ordinance.
Okay. So Kevin and I have spent a little bit of time together talking about a model zoning ordinance that I believe that we have sent out for your review previously, that we modified slightly. I'm just going to pull this up. I'm sorry that I think that after all this time of not quite getting to it, I think that I'm just in shock that we're up to it at this point tonight.
Caught you off guard, huh?
We've done well tonight. This is a renewable and emerging sustainable energy ordinance. There are, I'm going to share the screen so we can see. Can folks see this renewable and emerging sustainable energy ordinance? There are just a few comments on it that we've written. In short, this goes through the process. It's a long document. And I will just note that at a few points, it mentions Rossi in my comments. Rossi is Matthew Rossi, a member of the Plumstead Township Environmental Advisory Council, who I've been in touch with also, who is very interested in seeing this sort of ordinance take place in Plumstead. There's a lot of definitions that try to standardize how we can understand what would be wind energy systems, geothermal systems. I believe there may be, solar systems and a few other forms of systems. And with it, there comes not only definitions, but certain kinds of incentivizations, incentives that may come with there being reductions in permit and escrow fees when an individual or an entity applies for the permits that would enable the kinds of constructions and building that would have to take place in order to install these new forms of energy systems within Lower Makefield. So this particular ordinance we went through pretty thoroughly. There are just a few points that are very fine points that if there's anyone who has an interest in exactly how energy works, I'd be very happy to include you in the conversation. I guess only up to you and I at the same time, because I want to respect the what might otherwise be a quorum requiring public knowledge of the entire communication. I am very happy for us to look at this ordinance if folks would like to read it and decide whether this is something that we would like to submit for the consideration of the Township Board of Supervisors eventually. And, as soon as it really has our approval at our own end, that is something in which I would be in favor. Kevin, is there anything you want to add on this?
I just wanted to make sure that we also addressed that this initiative was discussed with the Ready for 100 committee, and they provided input as well. And there were some of the comments had to do with not being too restrictive or redundant with some of our language. So there's been a lot of back and forth on this.
Sure.
Could you send us a copy of it, Jonah?
Yeah,
I believe that you all have copies of this. I can resend it though, and we
That
can
would be
review it
helpful.
between now and next time if you would like.
Yeah.
Okay, I will make that happen this evening. I will stop the share. And Kevin, would you like to talk about Ready for 100?
Yes and no. I haven't really done anything since the last meeting, but I think working with Jonah on this sustainability initiative has kind of lit a fire on in me. So it's definitely motivating me to get it done. So I anticipate having something ready by I would say the March meeting.
Kevin, are you still presenting to the Board of Supervisors this month?
No, not this month. I want to make sure that I have something to present to our committee first,
Sure.
to make sure they're on board before we go to the Board of Supervisors.
Okay. Maybe you and I, if you'd like, I'd be very happy to
Sure. Yeah,
collaborate with you on this.
I liked our working sessions.
Great. But we'll be in touch offline on that. I'll just make one further note on the distinction between the renewable and emerging sustainable energy ordinance versus what is Ready for 100. Ready for 100, I believe, and Kevin can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe that what Ready for 100 is aiming to do is not only to incentivize just the simple permit and construction, like the whole permit process to make that cheaper, which is what the ordinance that Kevin and I have worked on together has addressed. Ready for 100, I believe, is going to address more the necessity of what it might require of us as a township for us to really be prepared for a future where fossil fuel cannot actually sustain us all that much longer, and where we can expect a healthier planet by relying on far fewer sources that create unmanageable greenhouse gases. So I believe that the Ready for 100 is a much more ambitious initiative. And in that regard, it's going to ask more things.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Ready for 100 is kind of a more ambitious, applying to not just buildings, but other ways to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. And the other ordinances is kind of targeted to incentivize.
Is it me or Kevin?
I think
Kevin,
Kevin just froze a bit.
They're related, but not.
You're breaking up, Kevin. We can't hear you.
Sometimes when I shut down my video, it helps, which makes no sense. But
It's all data.
so while we wait for Kevin to unfreeze, one should always listen to the words of Jim Bray because there's something buried in there that you may otherwise miss. He is correct, and I was wrong. The Sunshine Act is triggered by the amount of quorum or the eligible members. So 3 of you can in fact talk together. 4 of you cannot.
Excellent.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
All right, so what time do you want to do it? Jim?
Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Honestly, I didn't know what the right answer was either, so.
Still not licensed in the state of it, no.
Okay.
Can I
Jim,
guess
can you
Kevin,
do it? Sorry.
can I
Jim,
take
can you do
over
it at
for a minute?
1:30? Look. Oh. Huh.
Jim, can you
Zoom
talk at
calls.
1:30 next Wednesday?
Yeah, you want to do 1:30?
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
that works better
All
for you.
right.
That's fine.
Alan,
All right.
Hold on. Let me get my calendar here. Something
Okay.
about date.
Can I fill the airspace with something else?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want you guys, all of us to lose sight of the basin retrofitting that's going to happen hopefully this year. And I have asked Kurt to reach out to the township engineers to see where that is, because I really do want to make sure we do whatever we can so that in doing the necessary retrofitting, we can make sure that we would qualify for whatever. So I just want to
MS4.
definitely the MS4 part, but even like, you know how Karen is a bird life sanctuary, or, the Audubon designation, if we can get that 2 fur or 3 fur. I really want to make sure that we keep that on an agenda item, even if it's just like a where is it kind of thing, because that's what I'm doing now with the manager and the engineer, where is it? Because I'd like to really get that as an accomplishment this year.
All right, so you want basin naturalization on the agenda next
That
month? and
the
following
basins
month.
that we're naturalizing, we ensure that we maximize the eco-friendly naturalization piece. You don't have to put all that on the agenda, but that's what I'm talking about.
All right, and there is money in the budget for this, right? The budget you passed for 2022?
It's all part of the MS4, right? We have to do planting. So really what I want to do is make sure we pick the best or correct planting so that we're not just filtering or slowing, but that we're doing it in a way that might help be more friendly to birds and bees and other animals, critters.
Suzanne, we never really got a clear-cut explanation as to why they started cutting these basins again. We've asked many, many, many times. At one time, we had naturalized over 100. There's about 130 or 40 basins in open space areas in the township. And at one time, we were about 105 of them that were naturalized. We were saving the township $50,000 or $60,000 a year. And then all of a sudden, several years ago, that program stopped, and there's still a mystery as to why it stopped. I think there's some that's still being naturalized, but we don't really have up-to-date statistics on that.
But we'll keep it on the agenda.
Great.
And the last thing, the suggestions for use of money from the sewer sale. We had basin naturalization as one of our suggestions, but is that needed? Because isn't it in the budget? I thought there was some money for
There's
basin
definitely
naturalization.
some money,
in the
Alan.
budget.
I mean, there's definitely some money for, even from some of, I think, the Relief Act money, but, it's not going to be all of them at once. So I don't know if you're coming up with a prioritization kind of thing or what the thought process is, but
It's like our tree planting location list. Well, we could think about that. Yeah, and if anybody has any suggestions for use of the money from the sewer sale, send them to me. I've got a draft of a document or a letter to the supervisors suggesting 4 different things: open space, solar panels, basin naturalization, and recycling containers. So if you have any other ideas, because it's easy to spend money, so let's get creative.
There is one other thing in odds and ends that Jonah had asked me to put on the deer management concerns. I guess I'm going to leave that one to you, but I have questions on that one, but I'll wait until you speak first.
Sure. I'll give a very brief, just share screen again. So that way we can be looking at the same page at the presentation. Can folks see the impacts of overabundant deer on forest understories in New Jersey and Pennsylvania?
Yep.
Okay, great. So this was from the presentation from the EAC Summit across Bucks County and I believe Montgomery also, that happened in October. And this was with Dr. J.F. Kelly. I am going to just review a few points that I thought would be pertinent to the way that we handle deer management in Lower Makefield. And I will also be very happy to be corrected if I'm wrong about any of the information I have about, or that I believe I have about how we do manage deer. We do see from all the trends that we know that extermination of predators and warming winters, suburban development, cessation of commercial hunting, these are all things that have led to wild increase of our deer population, such that what our deer population is no longer is exactly representative of some natural cycle of our ecosystem. That our ecosystem is being somewhat destroyed by deer, in as much as we have all sorts of forestry that is being eaten up in terms of its understory. And we are seeing all sorts of decrease in other species as well, from the way that deer are affecting our ecosystem. So there is something that is a bit out of control. A lot of this information is information that I presume that many folks on the EAC already do know, but it is worth our noting just how expensive it is for us not to manage the deer effectively in our area, such that there are annually plenty of deer collisions, and there are deaths each year that are associated with collisions from deer. So that is not merely just an auto accident and some repairs that may need to take place, but there's a lot of money that happens in all of this. In 2015, I guess it was, that there were $111 million annually in vehicle damage claims that related to deer collisions, and that's only claims that were reporting the deer collision, because there are probably many claims, there are probably many auto accidents that happen that go unreported to insurance companies when it comes to deer collisions. We do see that on a health level, there is a major rise in Lyme disease, and it is a very serious problem that we see. And there are a few different ways of being able to combat the way that deer are affecting our ecosystem. There is the idea that you can build some deer exclosures. You can build places where deer may just be reserved. That would be metal fencing, post plastic fencing. So that does prove to be extremely expensive. Separately, there's also the tree planting that we do that is good, but there's a lot of tree planting that needs to happen to replace what is destroyed in the adverse effects of deer on the ecosystem at this point. But what we also can learn is, based off of data that has been collected, just the difference between what I see as the crucial difference between what Lower Makefield may be able to do that it is not yet doing, and what Lower Makefield currently does. I believe that we, at this point, do not hire sharpshooters who are able to manage our deer population. I think that there is more of a volunteer element in our deer management program within the township. And I think that given the cost of sharpshooters, it may seem very unlikely that we would want to spend that kind of money. But what we might want to do is to find partnerships with insurance agencies that may want to lessen their own costs locally or within the region for how much deer end up costing insurance agencies. I think that we may want to move towards sharpshooters rather than rely on less professionalized recreational hunting. So let me just see if there's just some statistics also that relate to the ways that hiring a sharpshooter or hiring sharpshooters have been able to reduce deer populations and thus help our ecosystems remain just a little more stabilized. I want to note that I'm a vegetarian and I am not someone who shoots. This is all very foreign to me in its own way, but the science of it makes a lot of sense to me on another level. So I don't like to advocate for more guns, but I do like to advocate for responsibility within our environment. And I'd like to hand over, I know we only have 2.5 minutes before we have to get to lacrosse, but I do want to hand over to the EAC the information that I was able to glean from the October EAC Summit and provide us, maybe not this evening, but certainly in the future, the ability to think, is there something that we need to do to modify the deer management program in Lower Makefield? And is that something that can fall under our responsibilities, knowing that there are many commissions and many committees and many entities who make Lower Makefield run as it does?
My concern is, so the deer are usually regulated, well, shooting of the deer is regulated by the PA Game Commission, so at least in Pennsylvania. So I would think we would need to somehow contact them and be in some sort of talks with them to find out what we can do as a township. We can't.
We do, I think that we do every year partner with a bow
Bow and
hunting
arrow.
group that is something less than recreational, but maybe not professional, but I will say they're licensed, they're trained.
Right.
And they harvest and donate a lot of the meat that they get to food banks, etc. The biggest limitation, as I understand it, is where we can hunt, and that would even be more so if it involved guns, because you need a certain amount of acreage.
Well, and
before you-
distance from residential.
Right, and there are tracts, like there's a tract of land down by the river that's county land. It's almost landlocked.
Right.
We are not allowed on it. I've been trying to get access to it for 4 years now, and I've not been successful. But we're not allowed on it, even though it's big enough. So there's all sorts of, plus I assume that when we hang up, I'll get lots of angry emails about hunting, because not everybody, Jonah, is on board with the concept.
No, as a matter of fact, there's several people who aren't. This is a very complicated topic. We talked about this extensively in Lower Makefield Township about 15 to 20 years ago. But the meeting is close to ending tonight. What I would suggest is that we put this on our agenda next meeting where we can have a more thorough talk about it. But let me just end with this one note, though. Mahatma Gandhi said you can tell a lot about a society about how they take care of their animals. Using this as a benchmark, I'm not sure we're doing a very, very good job.
And
I don't
that
think it's
pencil
Lower
man
Makefield
was
alone,
trying to
but-
take away your right to garbage haulers. So please contact
That's
Here we
Jim.
go
my
again.
cats. That's my cats arguing right now. You guys heard that.
Bye, everybody. Have a great night.
Happy
And
New
Thank
Year.
you very
See you
much,
next
Happy New Year,
everyone.
everybody.
see you soon.
See you.
See you next.
Okay.
Bye.